Okay, good. You too, Tony.
I can call the meeting to order.
Meeting to order, please.
We're so fiscally responsible, I have no gavel, so y'all help me out. Just yell loud, huh? Anyway, I'd like to call the meeting to order. All the aldermen are here. I would like to make a special note and welcome to Alderwoman Kim Stringer. I'm not going to make a joke about finally. Stringer on that. Well, I'll save that for later, Supervisor Stringer. But anyway, if we could, we do all have Attorney Rocky Eaton, Clerk Melissa Martin, if Alderman Mike Lott would lead us in the prayer and pledge.
Father God, I thank you for your love for us. And Lord, my prayer tonight is that as we meet here, and whether we are here or outside this building or in the community, wherever we are, help us all, no matter if we're on this board or if we're just in this room, help us all to remember that your presence is with us all the time. No matter to the extent that we know you, you are with us. So help us be aware of that and help us to make sure that the things that we say and the things that we do are pleasing to you and honor you. Now, as we deal with the business of the city tonight, we pray, Lord, that also that what we do and say will please you and will also benefit the city. For us in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda with the additions of request to set a hearing date of March 26, 2024 at 6 p.m. to approve the preliminary plat and construction plan for the Adelines at George. Is there a motion?
Motion.
There's a motion second. All in favor?
All right.
Is there a motion to accept the consent agendas numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
All righty, come on up here, Sherry. Sherry, you should visit more.
Let me check my 5 other jobs. I want to just bring something to y'all's attention, so go ahead and get your little date books out on your phones or whatever you have a calendar on, and I want you to put October the 1st on your calendar in big red letters. The National Association of Town Watch. It began back in 1981, and 3 years later, National Night Out was introduced in August of '84. It was a network of law enforcement agencies, neighborhood watch groups, civic groups, state and regional crime prevention associations, and volunteers. And the first one involved 2.5 million neighbors. And we are, at this point, not really among those. National Night Out enhances the relationship between neighbors and law enforcement. It brings a sense of community, and it also provides an opportunity to bring police and neighbors together for positive circumstances, which is always a good thing. The state of Texas and select areas celebrate the first Tuesday in October. In the county, we will be coming up on our third year of celebrating for 2 nights. We do the Tuesday and the 3rd of October, which is that Thursday, because we have 8 volunteer fire departments out in the county. And it's kind of hard to get neighbors that live a mile or 2 apart to come to one place. But if you have it at a fire department, then you have the sheriff's department, all those guys there. We can get office staff and volunteer firefighters together and just basically give residents a place to gather and to get to know each other and to get some more information about their neighbors that they may not know. There's so much of an influx of people coming and going in Mississippi these days. Neighborhoods host block parties, little street festivals, parades, cookouts, a lot of community events. A lot of them also involve safety demonstrations, seminars, and youth events, visits from emergency personnel, and law enforcement officers. It's a great time to get out and play some games with the kids, get to know each other. There's stuff that you can actually get from the National Night Out website that's pretty cheap. You know, if you get a couple thousand little stickers or whatever, it's a really big thing. Along with the National Night Out on October 1st is a new thing called the Dog Walker Watch Group, the Dog Walker Watch Group. A lot of people, I know in our neighborhood, in our whole 4 subdivision neighborhood, walk their dogs all the time. This is an opportunity for people to be the eyes and ears of law enforcement that can't be everywhere all the time. It encourages people to be more situationally aware and be a little more, to pay a little more attention to what's going on with their neighbors' houses. There's a lot of delivery trucks coming and going these days. Thank you to everybody, that orders from the jungle. But what I really want to do as a resident of Petal is to encourage the city to create an event and a volunteer coalition to organize National Night Out and bring it back. We did have this a few years ago. I'll say a few years ago. How many years ago was that? Like 40, shut up. It was a long time ago. But we could bring a one big event back here to the park, which is I think where we've had it before.
Right.
But it also would give you an opportunity to just find some neighborhood, like little subdivisions, and say, just get your people. I know that the first year that we were in our new house that we had a block party, and we just put the grill in the driveway and everybody brought a chair, and it was a time to get to know people. So on that Tuesday, October the 1st, maybe Petal will be the next city to join the National Night Out Association. And you can go to natw.org to get registered and get details. It's a whole $35 to get in, and you're also eligible for rewards at that point. So that's all I really want to do is bring it up. It's a good time to talk about October before Easter. And time. All right, thank y'all.
Appreciate it. Joey.
Okay.
NATW, National Association of, yeah, NATW.org.
Little area right in the middle there.
No,
No, you didn't see the people that sit right in the road. Anyway, what's up?
All right, and as you know, I'm Jody Brixton from the Petal Arts Council. Some exciting things coming up, and I wanted to introduce you to Mackenzie Charles. She is going to be directing our week-long children's theater and art camp that we've called Myth Makers. It is a week-long adventure-filled camp that kids ages 9 to 12 will be transported into the world of mythological gods, heroes, and monsters. They'll learn about different stories, participate in group activities, create their own heroic myths, costumes, and props that will culminate in a public performance on Friday the 22nd. So the week-long camp is the 18th through the 22nd. And because you have generously allowed us to use the Civic Center, we're able to do programming like this. We had received a grant through the Mississippi Arts Commission, so we're able to offer this camp for free to youth in Petal, and so we're very excited about that, and just wanted you to know about that camp that we have coming up, and invite you all to attend the performance on Friday at 5:30 on the 22nd. So.
Awesome, thank you for the work, and for the most part, volunteer work.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I hope we do get in a position that the board will be able to consider
Yeah.
making that it's a process, it's a marathon, but, you know, I see a lot of great potential there.
So far this year, we've had several art classes that we've offered to the public, and we do our monthly meetings.
Anything you guys need, just let Alderman Brickson know, we'll be right on it, and, especially physical labor,
Yes,
got
definitely.
him.
Make him climb all the ladders.
I had already written
When you
his
said
name-
monster, he did perk up.
I already written his name down as a volunteer for any physical labor, so.
Okay,
Anyway, appreciate the work you guys do for sure.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Alrighty. Okay, Alderman Lott, you're fixing to speak. Proclamations and resolutions. Is there a motion, a request to adopt a proclamation recognizing the Petal High School class of 1974? Is there a motion from Alderman Lott?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Alderman Lott. Alderman Lott, by the way, he's dating himself. He was
Might be
the,
old, isn't he?
he was a part of the first class that we announced earlier, and I'll talk about it here in a little bit. Obviously, we're fixing to be 50 years old. Mike was part of the first class under the banner of the city of Petal as opposed to the unincorporated area of Petal.
And he actually taught me in high school, that or
I tried to teach you.
Could you, hey, Mike, could you get one of the detectives to check that, can we verify that somehow? But anyway, looking forward to a great event, appreciate, boy, it goes by quick,
It does.
That stone in your ring is dust, isn't it?
No, sort of.
All right, we've, passed that. Number 6 is another proclamation. Commissioner King couldn't be here tonight. I'll get with him another time and present this. But it is a motion, request to adopt a proclamation recognizing Tom King. Is there a motion? I've got a motion, got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I know we're supposed to talk in between the vote, but I always wait and get the vote, and then you feel like you can say more. But anyway, in early, I think it was 1992, it was then Representative King took office up in Jackson. And I always laugh because obviously everybody thinks about us as a Republican town, but can you imagine Republicans in Jackson back then? So anyway, he's had an incredible, he was representative, then he became senator, then he became commissioner. The lights out on the Gandy, Tom King made that happen. We're working on another project that Commissioner King made happen. So it's just an incredible time of service. He said something incredible to me right after he asked what was I thinking when I first got into politics. What are you thinking? And then he said, you'll get more stuff done if you work together. And that always kind of stuck with me. And just a great, he used to swing by my office and we would talk for a few minutes before he'd go up to Jackson. So just an incredible legacy that he leaves behind. Some folks, I guess in sports, sometimes stick around for that extra season that they shouldn't have. Have you ever seen that before?
I've seen it.
They should have left last year.
Should have left last year, but they
It's
want
like
to
a
go
good
in.
time for him to leave, and I've talked with the current commissioner, Charles Busby, and seems like he's a good guy off of the coast. And so as part of this board, this administration, trying to reach out to the layers of government, at least want a phone number. If 2013 or 2017 blows back through here, you at least want to, they may not answer it, like, oh man, that's that guy again. But anyway, we'll have their phone numbers. But anyway, appreciate y'all passing that. Look forward to having Commissioner King over here one day. No bids and quotes, no old business, general business. Request to sponsor Pedal Show Choir Invitational at a cost of $250. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
A lot of folks in from out of town too for that event. Request to approve the following adjustments due to leaks on 307 West Central with those numbers: 124 Watts Drive, 18840 Sunset Drive, 2222 Sunset Drive, $100, 125 West 9th Avenue, Apartment 4, $178.50. Is there a motion?
Alderman Stringer?
Motion.
Everybody.
They signed the paperwork. They-
Well done.
Maybe they need to bring them in and maybe we can verify. They're getting the answer. They're starting to answer that real quick. So I'm not, I don't know. All right, got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 9. I think she did that better than you, Steve. Number 9, request to donate old safe coat to Forest County for the use at Sunrise Softball Field per Josh Young.
Motion.
There's a second.
Second.
All in favor? Josh,
Yes, sir.
when are they gonna get that?
I'm pretty sure it'd be as soon as, the weather can hold up and you drive back there at the moment. It's a little too wet.
Okay, good deal, thanks. Number 10, request to authorize Pittman Howdy Shell PLLC to do additional title work related to Matthews Branch sidewalk at a cost of $150 per hour. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Question, just, do we have a
Quick,
limit for that,
one of y'all.
10 hours or 5 hours? Do we know how, I mean, I don't want to be billed 1,000 hours.
You know, we don't, but this person's not gonna bill you 1,000 hours because he regularly works for the board. And I will just say that this was an unexpected search. He did not come up with this on his own. This was actually an issue. You know, he had a contract with us
So,
and
yeah, I saw the notes, it didn't say, hey, estimate, in the future, estimate 10 hours, it kind of helps us bracket.
I understand. And he did not give that kind of estimate. I would say that he would just be,
Limited.
yeah, I would say that this is not somebody, this is somebody who has a regular relationship with this board, who I do not believe will abuse this board.
One-time gain.
Yeah, because, and I'll just say that it may be hard for him. The issue here is that the city had previously gotten some easements along Matthews Branch to work on the sewer. And those easements were greater than the normal time period that he has to look at for title searches. And so he did his due diligence on the attorney side, but then he got questions from the actual people who are shooting the grade and, you know, from the surveyors. And so they asked him, can you clear this up because of the old easements? And so I understand your caution and I'm thankful for it. I don't think that it's gonna be an issue here, and it will only be an issue one time if it is ever an issue, because we will find somebody else. But I just don't predict that being an issue.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor? Number 11, the long-awaited agenda item, request to create a new fund / bank account for the Leaf Bowie River Development District and authorize transfer of $65,000 to this account for city clerk.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Melissa, real quickly.
Mary Ann finally called the other day with an assessment of the property in that district. And we went off the millage, and then 15%, which is what the minimum was that all of us agreed to put in. So that's the 15% for, I think it started in 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And Doug said we have to do a separate account because the district was created by the legislature and it will go on until the legislature does away with the district. So it's got to be in its own fund and its own bank account.
And this money's coming from the general fund,
Yes.
start with. That's typical tax.
That'll be a budget amendment.
There, yeah, I guess the property
To say,
value in that
yeah.
area, I think 15% of whatever that number was, is that right? 15%?
Yeah.
Do we have anything in our minds for
Well,
what
y'all-
we
y'all
most likely
appro-
accomplish?
Y'all approved at the 15%, or $15,000
No, I was
for the
just,
bridge stuff. Other than that, we have not. We have yet, I think at some point, I'm take it that Mayor Barker, myself, and Supervisor Terry Bell will meet and have that discussion. The biggest thrust in the first meeting we had some time ago was doing some upgrades on the bridge, sandblasting, getting it stamped brick, and the lighting, yeah, the pedestrian, the lighting side of it.
that'd be
The
great.
big idea of the 15,000 though, so we can seek outside funds and try to make that number bigger.
Yeah.
Do a decent amount for 100,000, let's pay for 500,000, we can do even more. But anyway, appreciate that. Let's see, you got a motion, you got a second, all in favor? Number 12, request to adopt policy requiring, policy requiring a deposit for companies requesting bulk meter. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
A bulk meter costs
They know one.
us $1,600. We had three. One got damaged, not by the person who had it, was using it. And so we just feel like it'd be better if we have an actual policy setting a deposit if they want bulk water. You know, if they want us to put that meter out there, because to replace that meter is gonna cost us $1,600.
If it grew legs, it can walk off.
And this way, we know they'll call us and let us know when they're done with it, so we can bill their little.
If the meter costs 1,600, we're only asking to deposit 1,000, I can basically put
Well,
money
maybe.
in, I'm still maybe
I
change the
mean,
deposit
I
to the
just felt
value.
like that was a lot.
Why don't you go
We
from
can
0
increase
to
it,
1,000?
I mean, that's on y'all,
I
if you
mean,
wanna
they're
increase.
trying to just say.
Good, yeah,
We're
break even, yeah.
I mean, we don't want, I mean, if they completely destroy it, we're gonna be out $600, and it's a very
It
good
used to
option.
not be very often, but it's becoming more and
You talking
more.
like with the fair, they've had a.
Fair uses one, Hasbro Clinic's been using one, some other construction projects.
And I'm not as worried
Usually
about like the
construction
YMCA or the Hattiesburg Clinic, they're gonna still be here tomorrow. We can go find
Well,
them,
it's
but
usually
there
a
are,
construction
if it's
company.
construction companies from Texas, then they're gonna be a little bit more difficult to track down.
I mean, that's, if y'all wanna increase it, that's on y'all, I just thought that was an awful lot.
Do you wanna make that?
Yeah, I make the motion, we actually make the value of the replacement cost, because otherwise we're gonna be, you know, this is a benefit and a privilege for them to, I mean, I'd recommend we go from 1,000 to 1,600 if that's the actual cost. Yep. That way we're not putting taxpayers out any money when we're doing it, helping someone else.
And that way, if they wanna have an accept, they can come before us and go from there.
Yeah, exactly, they can always ask for a waiver of this, a variance.
Does anybody want to second Drew's amendment?
I'll second it.
All right, got a motion, got a second, all in favor? I think we're gonna have a third. That's kind of like half extra. All right, number 13, request to adjust water services billed at 600 Home Street in the amount of $60. Bailey,
Motion.
is there a second? I mean, Steve did it every time it was on
Yes.
We always
Yes.
call.
Every time we told her it's only $60, she still wants it.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor? Request to approve the following variances for property located on North George Street with that particular parcel number. Allow for 59-foot lot width in lieu of 60. Allow for 13-foot 6-inch side setbacks in lieu of 15. Exemption from subdivision regulations requiring curb and gutter, and to allow for single carports in lieu of 2-car garage.
Motion.
Bless you.
Second for discussion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Has this gone through the planning commission?
Hmm.
What was the recommendation?
It was,
Two,
unanimous
yeah.
except for one of them. I think Bernard said no to the one of them. I think that there was the other ones.
Okay, so one of the principles of our ordinance explains that any variances need to be for a very good reason. What is the reason for providing these variances? And it can't be for profit. It very specifically says that. Now, this is in a flood area. Due to some of our past conversations with the community, we know how the community feels about providing variances for more dense development, and the relationship that has with our schools and so on. This to me looks like we just want to stick more houses in this area for profit. And so I would recommend that we don't do this, and they should follow our ordinances as written. We stand to lose nothing. We stand to gain a better area, better subdivision, and better houses with, bigger garages that might not be as profitable for the developer, but will be best for the city long term. Does anyone know what the justification for these variances is? Because if you don't know that, according to our own ordinances, we should not grant them.
Justin, how many houses are we talking about? Yeah, shit, I'm sorry. Come on up here.
How's everyone doing? My name is Justin Powell, owner of Powell and Associates. We were proposing 5 houses with the beginning section that the planning commission passed on last week. And Mayor, what was your question?
How many houses are we talking about?
5.
5.
That's
Is
5
that-
and 1 with a house around, another house around, right?
No, sir, that would be 5 in one lot.
Yeah, but there's another one around, right?
Right, that's a separate lot.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Would your argument be, these requests are in line with the character of the neighborhood?
Absolutely. There is no curb and gutter within, I think the nearest curb and gutter may be back on Main Street in front of Dirt Cheap. There are no sidewalks. The closest sidewalks would be back on Main Street.
So that's exactly the line of thinking, like expanding a neighborhood and saying we need a variance to come come down to the standards of this older neighborhood. What we want in this community is to bring it up, not to bring it down. And
Absolutely.
we want sidewalks. We
Absolutely.
want that to start happening. We
So I-
want curbs, we want that.
Right, so I have no problem putting sidewalks. The only thing with curb and gutter is the land that's across or right next to me, it's owned by a trust. So I don't know if I'd even be able to acquire that property to develop it. So right now, the current, curb or the current, ditch works well in that neighborhood. On the corner of the property, there is a drain located there. So after talking with Public Works, I think they agreed to put some culverts in. So we would do that, make sure that it is nice. The person that does my land will be responsible for putting the ditch in as well.
So this area, it is in flood zone, you know that.
No, sir.
It's right on the cusp. It's either an 80 or inch flood zone. All the way past here.
Yeah, so I think with it being in the flood, I think it's not because I don't have to carry flood insurance to build them. So from a developer price or from a developer perspective, from the bank's perspective, from the insurance perspective, I don't carry flood insurance to build. So they don't see it as being a flood zone.
I'm blowing my mind with what you're saying right now. I hope Nancy would speak up. So break it down for me real simple. These variances are so that they'll match the houses in the older neighborhood across the street. And
So the variance is absolutely not. So, I sent out the packet that went to the planning commission. Ms. Angel, was that forward to the alderman as well?
The alderman received it first,
Okay.
because they set the hearing date.
Okay, so the standard for what I'm talking about there is a upgrade. Across the street, you got houses where I can go stand on the side and touch them. My wingspan is probably about 7 feet. So we're almost double that. Also, my phone, and I'll just show you the houses there. I'm planning to put in there. And
I'm familiar with I did look at the back.
with the concept, okay, just wanted to make sure. But it's a significant upgrade. That lot, was just kind of dense, and it was homeless people actually staying in. So a couple of neighbors across the street that I talked to.
I have no question that this work is gonna be better than what was at that property. I know
Right,
that.
right.
My concern is, something I've campaigned on is holding, developers to our ordinances. And if there is a variance, our ordinance says we need a very specific reason why. And it specifically says not for more profit, not to fit more houses in there, and not to match an older neighborhood. It's specific, it's very clear about that.
So
And those
my-
are the reasons I'm hearing.
Right, so my only, I guess, response to that is neighborhood upgrade. I mean, you go from literally a lot that's about an acre big with homeless people staying in and out of it, just
I
trash all over the
definitely
place.
want you to develop that
Right,
land.
right, and
But I
so-
want you to develop that land in line with our ordinance.
Absolutely, I mean, I understand it, so like I said, I tried to be as honest as possible with those variances. So I could have said 14 feet, I could have said 15 feet, because the naked eye, nobody's able to tell. But it's down to the actual inch on what it is. And so a foot and a half on a variance, I do understand that may be a big thing, but to the naked eye, it's not, I'm not asking for 10 feet, because normally it would go from 15 down to 10. So I'm asking for 13 and a half, and that's just to make sure that adequate space is there, so when we do, finish up the stormwater retention plans and the calculation, that everything flows into those drains where we need it to.
I walked I walked in with him, walked and looked at what was in the debris that they had to clear.
Oh, it needs to get, I'm hoping that he develops that area.
And to say that is an upgrade is an understatement.
It's a good point.
The houses are straight across the street. It was almost verbatim what he's gonna build. That's an upgrade compared to what's already across the street to the corner. You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, so let me.
I
phrase
get
this-
what you're
let me-
saying.
Let me phrase this for you, and
Yes.
I want you to remember this phrase.
Yes.
These ordinances are going to allow you to take a slum and turn it into a better neighborhood.
Absolutely,
That's worth a variance.
absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Any other comments, questions?
Well, I'd just like to highlight that this is a R4 area, like a little parcel.
Right, go ahead and name the R4.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, I appreciate, because, we have a moratorium on building apartment complexes. So I think Amy corrected me, you built a 1,207 square foot.
So they're 1,400.
14,
1407.
which makes it over our minimum standard. So that's, you could ask to pack even more in. So I appreciate you come back and make them into single home versus duplexes or condos, or, because that, technically that whole area could be apartment complex.
And I'll just give you a backstory. So I graduated from Pelham in 2009, went to Mississippi State University, moved out to Kansas City right before COVID hit. And so for somebody like myself, a single guy with one kid, looking for a house between Kansas City, then I was headed to Nashville, completely priced out of the market. And so here, I just kind of sat down with Alan Flint, who was my mentor, and said, hey, we need more houses around here, but there's different markets. You got your Trailwoods, you got Pecan Lakes. Then you got somebody like myself that, earns a decent living, wants my son to go to a decent school. I want to be able to come here and buy a house for about $200,000. So the, I guess, whole concept of what I'm trying to provide is a house or a really nice home, starter home that you can buy for what's comparable to rent. So a $200,000 mortgage, 30-year mortgage is going to equate to about the same thing as what a 2-bedroom apartment would be here. So you got, equity in it. As soon as I build the first one, the next one, the equity starts to grow. And it just, I've seen previously on McKinnon Street where I did the last development at, if one person starts on the street, everybody else starts cleaning it up. So I would like to do that.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Usually when this appears, and this is more for, I guess, Tony maybe, or Amy. Usually when this appears on our agenda, we either approve or deny the decision of the planning commission. Why is this so different?
I didn't put for the planning commission recommendation.
Okay.
But that is what we'll be doing.
Yeah.
We will be
Yeah.
voting to approve their
No, yeah,
recommendation.
but it's what if you read the minutes, which are in the packet, that's what their recommendation was. I just.
Okay, just curious, it just kind of popped out.
And just one last, you are putting sidewalks down.
Absolutely.
Because that was about, you highlighted that in the.
Yes, sir. We'll put sidewalks down. The one question I did want to ask, so normally you have, just depending with certain developments, you have sidewalks and you have a little bit of green space, or you can have sidewalks budding right up to the road. So, but since we don't have curb and gutter in that area, I was talking with my engineer this afternoon, and he was like, just get a recommendation on which way if they want it. His recommendation to me was to have the sidewalks butt right up against the street, stretch out 5 feet. And that way, since there's no curb and gutter, if I moved them further back, they would be closer to the ditch.
What does that become? That becomes a parking spot. Yes.
It does, but the further you move it back towards that ditch, then it's kind of, the maintenance of that, I don't know how that really works out. I don't think it'll necessarily become a parking spot, but I think it would look better on the street.
Truthfully, you could make the argument that with a foot or two of grass and a sidewalk, you're still gonna have more of a parking lot than if you didn't have sidewalk.
Right, because if they dip off in there, it's gonna eventually erode, and the water starts to get in there, then the street starts to mess up, and that's not necessarily what I would.
If somebody's gonna park there, they're gonna do it whether there's a section of grass in between the sidewalk and the street.
And it's enough space in those driveways for them to fit 3 cars in the driveway. And most people, so from the previous development I did on McKinnon, they'll park in the yard.
But I said, if you're going to go through the effort and actually have a sidewalk, it needs to be a defined sidewalk, not an extension of the street or an extension of park. Because if you look at urban development, that's what you, reality of what he just says becomes. But when you have a green spot or green space, even like we just made, with on Central Main, you have like a 2-foot, even though it's a curb, it's like a 2-foot grass area.
Absolutely.
It defines that. And then what that does is allows, if there is parking or illegal parking, it really defines it for the police officer to say, you know what, you're parking on a sidewalk because there is green area. Now, whether it's mowed and maintained or dies out eventually, if you're going to have a sidewalk, make it a sidewalk, not extending the road, which, I applaud you at least fighting for the sidewalks. That was unexpected that you do that.
Yeah,
So
I have no issue putting sidewalks. If we think it may become more of a parking spot, then not. I'll leave that to your discretion. But whatever the board advises, I'm fine with doing.
If I can make a quick comment, just a block away from where he's planning to build on North George Street on Mitchell Avenue, there is 4 or 5 lots where there were sidewalks constructed, and there is a green space that is roughly 2 to 3 feet between the street and the sidewalk. Okay. So just for, congruity's sake, if you want to consider that, having that green space would be better.
What's the address on it? You know, what? Street?
Mitchell Avenue.
I'll take a look at that. Thank you.
Thank you for investing in our city.
Thank you.
Oh, y'all need to vote.
Yeah. Got a motion, got a second, or is anything else? Motion, got a second, all in favor?
Thank you.
15, good job, Justin.
Thank you.
Number 15, request to approve document claims for the month of February 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Number 16, request to accept supplemental agreement with J. Beardy Construction for water line upgrades. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor? Number 17, request to advertise for and make final payment to J. Beardy Construction, Inc. in the amount of $42,628.86 for water line upgrades.
Motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Oh, goodness, who did this? Request to authorize the mayor to execute the establishment of just compensation offers for project number. And if y'all want these numbers, y'all just get with me after the meeting. A lot of parcel numbers for different amounts. I'll give you some amounts, I guess. $380 for one of the parcels, $340 for another, $4,640 for another, $505 for another. So is there a motion?
Just, I was trying to look at, you know, with the.
I can explain it.
With what happened with Will, you know, where we looked at parcel numbers and how we got mixed up, I pulled them all up on the Forest County website that, you know, the supervisors had for us. And, you know, one of the parcels is like half of Keith's, you know, the gas station.
That's right.
So that's obviously, we're not buying half the gas station.
No, we're not. And that is one of the parcels.
Yeah, the $4,000
And that's, yeah, the big one. And the reason is because their property fronts Main Street. So it's worth more than, say, a lot, these other properties are along East Fifth, essentially a residential street. So we're taking their prime, a small portion of their prime property. And so that's why that number is higher. And so we're taking out their tree and they get compensated for that tree. Because our sidewalk kind of begins on the corner of their lot. And we'll be taking property from the gas station, as well as other properties.
So the sidewalk, this is our sidewalk, not the sidewalk that.
It's the Matthews Branch sidewalk.
I know, but that's that's gonna be coming on the east side of South Main from Branch.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Now we've got a great sidewalk that the supervisors are putting on the west side, right? That goes, they're according to their plans.
You mean that's going the other way, going south, that's gonna pass over the Leaf River eventually? That we're gonna connect with this other.
Their original plans had a sidewalk on the west side of South Main up to that first, where Alan Flint's Lane is, or that blank parcel. There's a 7 foot sidewalk that goes up along that strip too. So we're gonna have sidewalks on both sides of the street right there.
But it's only for less than a block.
But yeah, that's what I'm
They're
saying.
essentially right
Yeah.
across.
Because eventually we want to jump across. That's
That way you access the bridge.
Okay, yeah, I'm more visual and it makes trying to.
So these were 5 parcels that where the city is taking the property and it's worth less than 10,000. I had you guys pass an ordinance a couple of years ago, you remember, where we could do this more informal process, and that's what our appraisers have done. So this is not a formal appraisal, but they still do give a value, and it still looks a lot like an appraisal. But you can tell that all of these numbers are less than 10 grand, and that's why they're here tonight. Is they're ready to go, and once you authorize the mayor to make these offers, he's got 5 forms he'll sign.
That's all I have.
Yeah, and then we'll send them off to our agents.
The one next to the Cooley property, that's non-contiguous, contiguous with all the other properties. How does that tie into the route if it's not contiguous with the actual sidewalk?
You know, I don't know. I looked at some of the parcels because I had more information needed. So they'd actually did a report on everything for each parcel, and then they had this document for the mayor to sign that you did get. The reason I didn't include that, and I had sent them to the mayor, but we didn't circulate that was because it would have been 100 pages worth of appraisals, and you know, it's the last minute. Yeah, it would have been. But I mean, it's not a problem, and So, but I don't remember, other than we've got, this one parcel here at the corner. I thought all the other parcels that were involved were on East Fifth, because I know, and we can go back and look through them. It was, at least 3 of them were Cooley's.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that one's not mistaken, because that one's not contiguous with what the other ones we're buying right now, at least in this packet, so.
I would say that it's not a mistake that we've got the best, and if there's a reason that one reason that they may not be contiguous is that the property that's in the middle may be worth more, that they weren't able to get a waiver of value.
Another item.
Yes, and we definitely have not purchased all the parcels that we're gonna purchase. We've got more parcels to purchase. This is just the ones that were relatively inexpensive, less than 10 grand.
This is a stage 1 of
Yeah,
4 or 5 projects.
in some cases, people jump and have a little old section, not big as this right here. It just happens to be across the good news for them, they're fixing to get some money and don't have to go cut the grass or something they really could use anyway.
Hopefully you still have one, somebody hold out for, $1 million at the end saying that.
That's not suggesting. We're in a hope there.
Yes, that was not small.
All right, got a motion, got a second, all in favor? Number 19, the addition to the agenda is a motion to request to set a hearing date of March 26, 2024 at 6 p.m. to approve the preliminary plat and construction plans for the Adelines at George. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? All righty, seminars and travel. I think, now, why'd you let Chief go out of here? He's got stuff on here. Number 19, request to approve the following travel for the fire department. A. Richardson, driver, operator school, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cost of $795, 1st of April. C. Burge, driver, operator school, another $795. C. Hinton, MSTAT, $200.
20.
Oh, huh. That's why I think to be in here. No wonder we're missing that money later this year, but, anyway, C. Hinton Hazmat, A/O, cost of $60. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second, or a motion second, all in favor? Okay, number 20, request to authorize municipal officials to attend the Association of Planning and Development Districts Conference in Biloxi, the back end of April. Kim Stringer, 636, D. Brickson, 636 plus mileage, M. Martin, 1321.44 mileage, C. Bullock, 1321 and 44 cents plus mileage, T. Ducker, 1321 and 44 cents plus mileage. I probably won't need the mileage, but A. Heath, 1321.44. She's got.
Kill might need the mileage, so. So she might need the mileage. So I'll be adding plus mileage on there.
He called you a lowly alderman. So I think that was, I'll blame you. That's where I would want to bust. Anyway, got a motion? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Number 21, request for the following to attend the municipal clerk spring conference. Melissa already know all this stuff, but anyway.
Motion.
Yeah. 619 plus mileage, he's like, you know, he's saying you need it. He's saying you need this information. 619, for Lynn Campbell and, Angel Dice, 363 plus mileage. Is there a motion? Well, got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? The request for Melissa Barber to attend officer-involved shooting and critical incident class in Mendenhall, March 11th and the 12th, cost of $300 per Chief Hyatt. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, here's what we like. Request for Amy Heath to attend building officials of American Regional Conference in Lafayette, Louisiana on 3/18 and the 19th. Total cost $0. Just an example for the rest of you. Yeah.
Way to go, Amy.
Sleep in their car.
Way to go, Amy.
Anyway, is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor? Orders and ordinances. Oh my goodness, let's just skip this. Request to adopt an order setting new pay scale per police and fire per FY 2024 budgeted. So it is budgeted according to Melissa Got a motion, is there a second?
Discussion, since fire's not even here, do they? Anybody from fire?
Marion's back there.
Oh, Mary back there.
I think Chief passed out in the lobby, he can't believe he's sitting there.
Yeah.
As good as we've been to him.
That's right.
If any of the aldermen see any of the hierarchy, any of the brass, I guess a cup of coffee at least, huh? We'll get nothing. Number 25, oh, we got a motion, got a second, all in favor? I was trying not to have a vote, and then we had to figure it out tomorrow.
You could say one day.
Then I'd have been off tomorrow, I would have not been where, they've been down at A1 saying, where's our money? 25, special adopt orders raising pay rates in the following departments per FY 2024 budget: judicial, financial, executive, building, recreation, civic center, and senior center water. The executive is not me, by the way. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All righty, in the mayor's report, I should have gave you bad news earlier, Valerie. As you can see, River Park water update, MDOT's not letting us go under the bridge. So I had hoped and throw some numbers and ideas out to John about if we're gonna be over there digging around trying to get water to the River Park, why don't we back up and maybe get rid of some older pipe and make it a little bit better thing. So they did some of that, but in general, we're talking about a $300,000 water line now. So obviously, you're probably not gonna see anything on the agenda to move forward. It's gonna be one of those things we're gonna put on a shelf and figure it out later, unfortunately.
Long hose?
You know, I think if we could get we've discussed that, and I'll continue to have that discussion with them. They could get a fire hydrant on that side. Problem is that makes you have to bore under the road if you can't go under the bridge. You kind of really where you get off in the left
If you
field.
put it on the back burner and the next time you get right, it's gonna be 600,000.
Is that what you just said that the county would?
What, hey, yeah. Sounds like we're gonna do the first naming of a water line. Steve Stringer Water Fire Hydrant Line. And Steve, like you said, it's only gonna be more later on. Anyway, update on that. Also on the Civic Center, you can tell me a little bit, we need a new roof.
Civic Center needs a
Drew, you
new
may
roof.
know, because the
Leaking.
pedal, Josh still here?
I'm not here, yes, sir.
Do you intentionally sit behind the podium?
No, sir.
It was coming in pretty good on the pedal arts people, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're gonna need to get a new roof. We've gotten guesstimates. We're going to bid it out. So I guess that's the first place we need to start.
Yes, I called the insurance people, they're gonna send somebody to look at it.
Check, we don't think the roof's older, so.
Well, I think they're gonna send somebody out to look at it to see if it would be covered under insurance. I doubt it's gonna be, but we're gonna let them check, tell us no. They're not
Does
gonna
this
cover it.
include the library too? Library side, the whole building side?
And I got some information on that as well, but,
So would it be done at the same time? Is this the same project?
yeah, it'd be one, if we get if we bid it out, we bid the whole thing.
Awesome.
Typically, we split costs with them. There's some talk from them, and I think you got an email saying that they would want to do their square footage part. I don't think there's enough one way or the other with it. On the square footage, I just think they were thinking, hey, we'll do what we can do. But, anyway,
Most stuff is split in half.
I would just say we split
They only
in
wanna
half.
pay for, they don't wanna pay half.
That makes sense, because we have.
It could be a budget discussion, as we say, but they do use our bathrooms. They don't technically have a bathroom. They only have an employee bathroom on their side. So they use and they use the Civic Center whenever we get a chance. And I
They
ain't
use the
trying to,
entrance ways too.
I ain't trying to
In the atrium?
bruise somebody up. I don't want to bruise anybody up, but anyway, that's an FYI. They'll come, whatever they say good news, we rock on. They say no,
We'll still have to bid it out.
I guess I'll get John to start putting parameters for a bid, and that'll be on the next, or as soon as agenda if we could. Then we can haggle over the money, and we've got to find out what it is. We think it's gonna be 75,000 plus.
That's an asphalt, or is that a tar roof or flat roof, tar roof? Or it's
I don't
shingles?
think it's flat roof.
It is just shingles, and it's flat on some areas and angled on others.
You know, I've seen Chief Hines do some pretty good construction work. Hey, I guess what I would say as well, thanks Valerie. We had announced earlier that we've got the Molly Ringwald playing on Saturday night, April 6th at 7:30. They'll play 7:30 to 9:30. We'll have food, fun, and fireworks. Tell us about the thing on that Thursday, April 4th.
Yes, Thursday, April 4th, will be at the Pedal Civic Center. It's called Pedal's 50 Year Strong Celebration. We will have a big birthday cake there. We'll have memorabilia in forms of enlarged photographs, video. We've talked to some of our people that were instrumental in making Pedal a city. So 6 to 8 o'clock, come and go. Just a fun event to come and celebrate with us.
According to Billboard's top 40 songs, 1974 is Barbra Streisand and The Way We Were. Does Molly's play that?
Yeah.
Well, the Mollies aren't that night. That's another night.
Oh, okay. No, on the Saturday. Yeah.
And we're gonna ask Alderman Lott what his hot song was on his 8-track. What was the big song back then?
I don't.
I mean, had kids or was Metallica playing back then?
No.
Greg?
That was some pretty.
Yes, it's been around since 1947, I believe it is today. But anyway, I just saw it pop up on Facebook. We bring forward this Saturday night.
Oh, Mayor, one other thing, just wanted to remind everybody, March 14th through 16th, our promotion called Bridge to Recovery. We're offering a special sort of Shop Pedal First event, but only for those 4 chamber members that are really suffering there right at the bridge. There'll be Adams Nursery, the Wine Cellar, Keith Superstores, and Southern Lanes. So people, if they shop during those 3 days there, every time they purchase something, they get an entry form to win $500 cash. We're just encouraging our whole community to show some support. It wasn't their fault. They just got into a bad situation and we want to show our love.
I did get that question asked a couple times, but it is chamber members and obviously it's a chamber event. I did mention that we do hold out from the city if this thing goes on a little further than we think it should. We reserve the right to do one of our own. Obviously, I can put up the money or whatever we needed to do. I don't think legally we can.
There's some perks for being a chamber
Plus, they don't
member.
even let us spend money on what we can spend money on, much less the gray area stuff. But anyway, anybody, Miss Ada? What's going on?
No, because
I forgot you were over there.
I had a birthday last Sunday, didn't I?
Happy birthday.
You don't know how old I turned.
Steve, tell us. Awesome. Anybody else?
I tell you what I learned. I turned 84.
Oh, wow. Awesome. God bless you. Yeah, appreciate everybody. Always available. If y'all need anything, give us a motion to adjourn. All in favor?